Good morning, guys. It's about 5 a.m. and we have already got the P7000 fired up. We're knocking out some client orders. We're doing some engine logos and some nose art. And again, I'm getting a lot of questions on using the P7000, on how we like it, and are we seeing a big difference from what you normally see in terms of the actual quality of prints compared to, let's say, a Canon Pixma or different brands of printers. And to be honest with you, I haven't owned that many inkjet printers, certainly haven't owned that many large-scale printers, but the Epson definitely puts out the best color spectrum I've seen. As far as actual color palettes matching, there's just nothing like it. I have not had to use any photo adjustment as far as matching colors to the monitor. They're pretty much dead on from this printer. And again, it does have, let me see if I can make sure I get that. It does have the sheer color system as far as the HDX Ultra inks, Ultra Chrome inks. So the finish on these prints are just amazing as far as what you're looking at as far as color pop. You can see we've done a clown pilot here, and this is a unique graphic. Took quite a while to actually get him done. Just now started picking up some velocity as far as orders for him, but really unique graphic, and you'll see as it gets done exactly what I'm talking about with the color pop on him. He's got a lot of different colors. But again, we look at the printer, and again, we are using our glossy vinyl substrate. This printer, for the most part, we don't use the actual roll feed. For most of the prints that we do for decals, it's usually sheet fed. And again, you're manually loading the sheet, one sheet at a time. And again, the printer is pretty amazing in how it does that. The platen gap is pretty much auto-adjusting. You just load it and pretty much go. I mean, we've had a couple issues every now and then grabbing the edge of the vinyl. Not much. Again, once the platen gap was properly adjusted, and we all know that the instructions they give online, if any, you really got to kind of feel it out. But thank God the printer is pretty basic as far as its settings. You can go right into its keypad and adjust anything you really need to. I mean, it's very quick. We've gotten a lot of questions on the inks about the price difference. What do you see a profit margin, this, that, and the other thing. What's really cool is they give you the Epson accounting tool, and the accounting tool will let you go in and see what the cost of every print is, which is really neat information if as you build your business. But rest assured, this printer is exceptionally good on ink. Even on the starter pack that we've received with the printer, unless you're doing border-to-border prints, you're going to be able to easily use that for a couple months. I mean, I think we went through about 3 months of use before we had any problem with replacing inks. So at least gets the ball rolling as far as your return on your investment with your printer. A lot of people panic because they see how small the ink cartridges are, and they immediately assume they're going to have to replace the inks. I'm sure we thought of that immediately, and it wasn't the case. Again, most of my work is mostly decals, so if you're doing large-scale prints, again, border-to-border type printing, of course, the inks are going to go much faster. But again, so is the price point of your ROI. So you look at it from that perspective. If this printer's on, you're making money, and that's the way it should be. If you're just doing this as a hobby, I don't see many hobbyists dropping the kind of money on a printer like this. But again, if you're serious about graphic design, this printer is absolutely amazing. It's been spot on as far as, like I said, all the color spectrum we've seen. It's the closest match on anything I've seen, without having to remaster and go in and retouch and recalibrate. Again, you can see the custom remastered Super Tigers. There's a clown pilot coming out. And a lot of the 3D effects on the actual imaging is really what I'm talking about. Those are the effects that you usually always have to retouch, or the color's off, or it's too dark or too light. And this printer seems to hit it virtually dead on all the time. So again, let me just grab a chair here. We'll see how this is coming out. See if I can pan over. Come down here. And there you go. And again, on that clown pilot, you can easily see on his head where you've got like the reflection type effect. You really get the color pop on them. And again, it's just something you have to see in person. Once you see them, it's amazing, because most printers you'll find on those type of effects, especially the cheaper ones, you'll find that the effects are usually too dark. That's what we usually find. The prints are always much, much darker than you'd see on typically a print on a printer of this caliber. Again, because of the ink amount. We have 11 inks in this actual unit. So again, you've got a big amount, large amount of options as far as color spectrum in comparison to what you'd see on typically a normal inkjet printer in $200 to $500 price range. You can see our OS coming out. Again, they've got a chrome effect. And then we've got our Made in America nose art. That's a real popular nose art. And there you go. Hopefully the light's catching that you can see. And that's really what you're paying for. So if you guys are serious about getting involved or expanding your business with a true graphic design printer, large scale format, I can't recommend the Epson enough. I mean, it's a really nice quality unit. Now, we actually took the extended warranty out on this. We actually purchased this unit, believe it or not, on eBay. It was a brand new condition. I just took out the extended warranty through SquareTrade, and like I said, it's an amazing unit, especially as you start getting into more in-depth prints like what you see here. These are the prints, to me, that will separate you, because again, when we start doing 3D effects, when we start doing gloss effects and chrome effects, different metals, that's when you find out that having the 11 ink cartridges makes a huge difference. Canon Pixmas are beautiful. Certain ones do not produce the color spectrum that you're really looking for in terms of not having to remaster, recalibrate every single time you do more of the special effects graphics. And again, seeing this, and this is not laminated yet, so of course you can see it's got sort of a matty finish on this angle. Once it's laminated, you'll really see a pop. But again, seeing this coming out of the printer, you can see exactly what you're getting. And again, this vinyl, I cannot emphasize, uses a permanent professional acrylic-based adhesive. So it's got a very high bonding strength. We get questions on that a lot. If you're looking for a vinyl that's going to be basically put in place, not removed, I believe it's removable now for up to 3 months, but again, whatever substrate you're applying it to, keep in mind, if you go to remove it, you want to make sure you're using a proper chemical to remove it that's not going to naturally hurt your substrate, and then also it's definitely going to do the job in releasing the actual adhesive, because this is serious as far as once it's applied. If it's something delicate, keep that in mind. Of whatever graphics you're using, because a lot of people don't think of that. You know, if you're putting it on a laptop, you're putting them on, you know, we have a lot of clients that do antique type graphics where they want it on stuff that's very old. These are things to keep in mind if you ever do want to replace them. There is going to become a time where you would most likely have to remove the graphic, and that's where things can get hairy. So again, it's just a matter of you just using that forethought to make sure you are where you should be as far as understanding the process. She's about finished right now. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll show you this over at the cutter once it's laminated, and we'll do a final cut on it, and then we'll show you how they came out. And hopefully it'll answer some more of your questions, because like I said, the more we do prints with this, the more questions we're getting. Everybody wants to see the colors, and every print has got a different color format, so you get to see exactly what kind of spectrum you're looking at. She's finishing up right now. You can see the heads going back to return. All right, guys, I will see you guys shortly. Take care. Okay, guys, we're in front of the T75 Summa, and right now we've got it all laminated, the artwork that was on the printer earlier, and I'm going to show you the finished product. We're only doing one pass on these. These are real easy to cut. There she goes doing her thing. You can certainly see I never get enough questions on that tangential head. I mean, until you see it in action, it's really difficult to describe, but it really makes a huge difference. Especially on an image like this clown pilot, with all the articulation on his, the little hair particulate coming off of his head. You'll see it really rotating constantly for the level of detail. And if she looks at the top of the head, you can see where it's actually got a marker on it. You can see just how much rotation is actually being done and how many revolutions of the head is actually being performed to get most of those cuts. There's the weed boxes, round cuts. You can see that head is just super fast. Do the weed box. Another question we get asked a lot is, what does a sheet like this actually make profit-wise net? Again, depending upon how much you purchase, you're looking at a sheet like this on average, easily making you between $30 to $50. Depending upon, again, what printer you're using, depending upon, again, the size of the prints. If you're doing decals, it's really up to you as far as your pricing on what you like to go with. Again, I'm using 3M 8518 glossy overlaminate. That stuff right now is about $450 a roll. So, again, very expensive laminate, but worth every penny. Again, you can see the finished product here as far as the gloss. When it's all done, I'll carry it over and we'll go over this and show it to you as far as now what it looks like. But overall, that's about what you look at as far as a sheet this size. And this is a 15 by 25 inch sheet we're working with right now. And again, as far as speed, because again, I want you to justify the profit versus the actual work ethic. Most of the robots are doing all the work. If you factor in the actual speed, you could do this usually 2 prints this size. Even if you're using a manual laminator, usually within 35 to 40 minutes, you could easily do 2 sheets of this size. So again, and it depends also if you're getting dust in your prints. Once you master the process, it's really up to you on how much you want to make. And again, a larger print, these are small, more just decal type designs, but a larger print, it's up to you. I mean, we had one over the weekend. I believe it was $60, and again, probably had, you know, a couple dollars in materials. That's about it. The robots are doing the work. So your investment is where you're investing in the equipment, but overall, once you get the substrate dialed in and you understand what you're working with, you can see exactly what you're left with. So very, very, very smooth income stream for those of you wanting a job that you can build on working from home. This is amazing. You just need really just a clean environment and a segregated area, preferably another room in your house, or we've had clients actually use their basement, whatever you're comfortable with as long as it's clean. We're all set here. Now we'll come over to the light and see exactly what we got. You see your head return to your normal position and just pull out. You can hear the fan on, and it actually holds your vinyl very nicely. With the GraphTech, we didn't have that. This really is like a vacuum. It does not allow the vinyl to go anywhere. So we'll come over here now. Here you go. Let's come over this side. And then we can come over here, and now you can see what you're left with. And if I pan the light, you can see that glossy effect, and you can see the ring from the light showing you the difference of actually using the 3M. And this is why I just love this material. As an engineer, I can tell you right now, this material produces the closest finish we've seen to paint, and that's what most people want. I mean, we also offer it in a matte finish. The big thing here is just what you're looking at, but again, like I said, that clown pilot, now you can see it's finished. You can really see the detail in the color pop, in the special effects, his nose, the colors in the nose. I mean, a lot of that, the stitching, all of the level of detail is what you're paying for. You know, and that's what our clients want, especially, you know, looking at models. That's all what it's about. Without perfect graphics, modeling becomes kind of boring. And this really, really shows, just moving the light with the camera so you can see how fluid it looks. So again, guys, keep the questions coming. You know, I mean, we'll do our best to answer you guys. Right now we're getting hit a lot with a lot of different questions, so it may take a little time to get back, but for right now, this really shows exactly what you can produce. And again, it doesn't matter so much the actual printer in terms of if you're still dealing with a $200 to $300 inkjet. This is the effect. For the most part, you'll probably have to do some color remastering depending upon, you know, what graphics you're producing, but again, that's all, you know, judgmental on the market you're in. Certain markets you really don't have to mess with too much. Other things, if you're doing graphic reproduction like this, you will, depending upon, you know, what outcome you're looking for your clients. But again, keep the questions coming. You'll see the link in the description to contact Joanna, and we'll answer your questions as soon as possible. Of course, we do sell this material in bulk. We're getting a lot of questions on that. If you guys want to purchase in bulk, that's the best way to buy if you're serious and you understand what you're buying. And vice versa, if you've never worked with vinyl before, we sell in small quantities. You can buy a sample pack just to get your feet wet and see exactly what you're looking at. But again, the effects are right there in front of you. So thank you all for your support. Take care.